Yeah, Angie Mahar here. An answer or response to the question, what should I, meaning you, what should I do if I've just been ghosted by somebody with borderline personality? First of all, the question has a bit of a flaw in the what should you do? What should I do if somebody just ghosted me with BPD? Meaning, what should you do? First of all, really seriously, should, the word, the concept, is a thought distortion. So that doesn't help to preface a question that many people are asking themselves right now, and I've had clients asking me over the years, what should I do now? This person with BPD just ghosted me. I don't know what's going on. It was the best ever. We got as close as we ever could have gotten. And I know, have said many a client to me, I know that I was as close to her or to him as anybody before. Because not only did they tell me that, but I saw parts of them. I got so close to them. We really seemed to understand each other. I really love this person so much. So how could we, first of all, reframe that question so that it's not starting off with a thought distortion? Instead of, what should you do if you've just been ghosted by somebody with BPD? Or you're being ghosted over and over by somebody with BPD? A good reframe might be, now that I've been ghosted by someone with BPD, and maybe you would add in again, what do I really need? What do I feel? And what do I really need to learn? What do I really need to learn? What do I need to understand more about having just been ghosted by somebody with BPD? And then, of course, the answer that most people go to is, I got to understand more about BPD. I got to understand more about that person. Why would he or she do this? Very natural, very sort of second step, very, very much where people go. Let's just say, so in answer to the question, now that I've been ghosted by a person with BPD, who I really love and I don't understand this, and I really care about them and I want to get back with them. And okay, so let's say you're already, if you're watching this video, you're already watching videos, you're already trying to figure out people with BPD and how could this happen and why would this happen? Understandable. Obviously, people need to increase their knowledge and understanding of borderline personality. But again, to what end? To try to keep, like I said in my last video, keep pursuing them? Keep going around the same circles, which are the codependent cycles that go, in tandem in a way, not exactly the same, but with the person with BPDs splitting an on-off push-pull approach avoidance conflict? Is that what you want to learn more about? Or do you want to learn more about what's the best for you? What's the healthiest thing for you to do? Because, I've seen this question or questions similar online. And many people will try to get into, all the explanation about BPD. And other people will say what I would like to say, but I know it's too simplistic to say. Now that I've been ghosted by somebody with BPD, what can I do? Well, what do you need? What do I need to do? What do you need to do? What can you do? Not quote, what should you do? And there is a difference. The answer really is block them and let them go. But of course, that's really, really painful, isn't it? As I've been saying here in videos, people with codependency, but people with some childhood woundedness, where people should let go, they actually pursue harder. Where people should go to the right toward their healing process and taking care of self, they go over to the left, and the quest for understanding and beyond ad infinitum, a focus on an analysis of every aspect of why did this person ghost you? Why did this person just do this? What happened? And what are you to do now? I know that a lot of people can't just do this like that, but really stop for a second, slow down, and think about how the first thing you need to do is change direction. Change your focus. Instead of on the person with BPD, the ex, the ghoster, the cluster B, and all why, the what, because you're hurting. It's like, focus over here, go this way, to, I don't want to keep hurting. I don't know what just happened. But see, what's the difference between these two paths? One is the pursuit of everything up the yin yang to find out about more about BPD, cluster B, etc., and how and why and what can I do? And really that question about what can I do now after you've been ghosted, never mind the what should I do, which is the thought distortion version. Well, people follow the thought distortion version though, because it's again the avoidance of what you really need to do for you. And that can hurt even a whole lot more. And it somehow feels like the answer is resolution and understanding. And it is in the long term resolution of, in a healing process for you, focusing on yourself and understanding yourself more. But it's not a focus of resolution and understanding that people go through a lot because they want to know, well, then how can I get him or her back? And I would gently say to you with great empathy and no judgment, why do you want them back? Haven't you been hurt enough? So that goes to a deeper question for you, doesn't it? So this question of, I just was ghosted by somebody with BPD, what should I do? You've just been ghosted by somebody with BPD, what should you do? Let me put it that way. The thought distortion there, should. Should is a cognitive distortion. And you know what is important to not do? Is should all over yourself. It matters. This isn't just word games. It really matters. Because, I think like I alluded to in my last video, so this will be a little repetitive, but there isn't enough information on the planet for you to gather to change the person that just ghosted you with BPD. And whether you keep chasing after understanding that more is important, but not without focus on yourself and healing to understand yourself better. I really advocate, and for clients I work with, what happens, and I've seen it happen time and time again with clients, when they work through their recovery, yes, sometimes we talk about the ex or the BPD that just ghosted them or ghosted them however long ago as we work through the process of their recovery. It's working through that process that actually is going to yield you that emotional understanding and then more intellectual understanding. But the emotional understanding is really what you're going into. You may well be going into heavy pursuit of intellectual understanding. It's not going to help you find the emotional understanding. That's what recovery's for. That's what working with someone like myself, if I resonate with you, or working with someone is for. Because the more you process your own pain, and that, again, it feels like a driven need that what you, quote, should do is get them back. Because it's not finished. Because there's no closure. Because, like, this hurts like hell. What am I supposed to do now? I can't take this. And it devastates people. It beyond devastates people. Don't should all over yourself. Number one. Number two, easier for me to say than you to do, is you need to realize somebody just slammed a door in your face. Person with BPD ghosted you. They slammed a door in your face. They're gone. Can they sometimes come back? Yeah. And what happens then? I promise you, more and more of the same. And you'll get hurt, and more hurt, and more hurt, and more confused, and more lost. So what, quote, should you do if you've just been ghosted or you were ghosted a while ago by somebody with BPD? Close. The door's been slammed in your face. Keep it closed. Walk away from the door. Take a different direction. Use your back door to the house for a while. Or just metaphorically speaking. Use another door. Stay away from that door for now. Leave that door closed. Do what supports the door being closed, the door that they slammed in your face. Do what supports it being closed. Block them. Go no contact. Get into recovery. Know that it's a grief process. Know that it really hurts. All of the tries, if you go a different direction than what I just said, which many do, because I understand, not as simple as I'm putting it, the way it feels at all. But if you don't take that direction the first time, there'll be a second, third, fourth, fifth time. And each time you will have gone around the same cycle as the person with BPD goes through push-pull and maybe somewhat idealized, but the value. And then also they will be in the approach avoidance conflict, which is not resolvable unless they go and get significant treatment. Approach avoidance is not exactly an attachment style, but people with BPD really don't have an attachment style, because in the place of an attachment style is approach avoidance. Approach avoidance. It's great. We're close. Engulfment fear. Gotta get out of here. Oh, now they don't go, I left and I ghosted, and no, they think you abandoned them, and now it's abandonment. Gotta get back. Close. Oh, engulfment fear. You're controlling me. Gotta leave. So it's hard to be rational when you're hurting like crazy. But which two of those pathways sounds like the one out of agony and pain beyond belief? It's not the quote, what should I do? Learn about BPD. I mean, people are going to do that, but focus on that, and then the Hoover, and take him or her back, or the reverse Hoover, get him or her back. Figure out what they're doing. Watch their social media. Hurt yourself some more on top of all the hurt they've already done to you, like I was mentioning in a different way in another video. You really need to leave the door that they slammed in your face closed. And that is not simple. And that is very painful. But if you face that pain now, and you get into your own healing and recovery journey right when they've ghosted you, or if it happened a while ago now, or maybe it's happened multiple times, you'll really benefit. And what you need is to do something healthier for yourself. And guess what? When you're faced with this kind of really horrible, seemingly impossible, and incredibly painful choice, it's when you leave the door that they slammed in your face closed. That is the most difficult choice ever. Without closure, with emotional and cognitive dissonance, with issues that are maybe going on for you as a codependent that you're not even aware of yet, really, from your childhood, that are subconscious. If you don't do it now, when? And if not now, what's between the now and the when, which is later sometime, much later for some people, not so late for other people, not so much later, is going to be another world of hurt that you're going to encounter. Because these cycles, and the cycles between people with BPD and codependence, off, on again, will be endless in most people's cases. And the person that you love right now, that ghosted you, isn't who you fell in love with. And you might know that in your head, but it's time to work through those emotions and face those emotions and go in that direction for yourself, to save yourself future pain and more and more, accruing more and more and more pain. And it is the choice that is the most difficult one to make, that is the healthiest choice to make. And it might not feel like it right now, because the choice that gives you some relief to the agony, at least temporarily, is to get them back, to see what they're doing, to figure it all out. But figuring it out doesn't help you emotionally, and figuring it out doesn't bring them back. And if they come back, figuring it out isn't going to help them stay. They're still going to go through approach avoidance and ghost you again. Not everybody with BPD is the same, but the ones who've ghosted you, they're in their own pattern of approach avoidance and everything else. They're going to keep doing the same thing. These things are pattern driven, and they're not going to stop. It's not going to just be once anything. So I hope you can think about that today, and just know that when it counts the most, when you hurt the most, and when it feels the most impossible, it is the difficult choice of leaving the door that they slammed in your face closed and not opening it again. That is what's going to help you to move through something that you don't have a clue how to get through, because right now you're just overwhelmed, maybe, if it just happened. Or even if it happened a while ago. You're hurting and you're suffering and you can't think about anything else, etc. And so it is making the most difficult choice right now and pursuing that choice for your recovery, focusing on yourself so that you can integrate what's happened, not only learn more about it intellectually, incorporate feeling your feelings and understanding it more from an emotional place, and then healing it. What I'm really asking you to think about today, if you haven't already done this, is to leave that door they slam closed. The choice that feels impossible to make, because you're worth it. And because that really difficult choice is going to take you out of being further hurt and further hurt and further hurt, which is going to accrue and accrue and accrue. And some people get so devastated by this, they don't make it. And you don't want to be one of those people. So make the really difficult choice right now. And if you resonate with me, I'm out here to help you through this. Or find someone that you resonate with. Look for help and support, therapy, your own healing recovery journey. Don't stay in the pattern, because part of the pattern, aside from the person with BPD, is the codependent pattern that's within you. And you can learn more about that, you can understand that, and you can heal that. And as you go through that process, then the door that you left slammed, that they slammed in your face, the door that you left shut, the most difficult choice you possibly could have made, is going to lead you to where you need to be, to knowing yourself, to relating in more healthy ways yourself, to having better boundaries, to trusting yourself, and to not ever again relate to someone who's actually emotionally unavailable and doesn't know how to attach and can't love you in a healthy way. Take care.